everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining me. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you the technique behind my arm styling. And it's a technique that you can use to make up your own arm styling, and I'll give you a few key tips about that as well. So, first of all, for arm styling, the main thing we need to know is that the arm styling does not come from the arm. It especially does not come from the hands, it comes from the body. So let's get our body prepared for this first. We need to have our Zouk posture, so making sure that our feet, our hips, our shoulders and our ears are over top. So think about the posture of your body. Mine is to be like this with my belly and my locked knees and my sway back. So I have to bring everything back in line. So fix your posture, whatever it is, to align your body. Next thing is we need to engage our frame. So switching on our lats, thinking about shoulders down and back, and pulling your shoulder blades down into the center here, or you can think about crossing a big cross running across your back to try and get those shoulders down. And lats engage. So if my lats are not engaged, my arms are all floppy here by my sides with no space. As soon as I engage my lats, they float out. This is just a result of the engagement of those muscles. This muscle here, you should be able to feel it when you engage it, and it'll bring those elbows out, and already we're in a much more of a danceable arm zone. So we're going to maintain that the whole time when we're arm styling. And I encourage you, as a way to try and get this feeling in your body, just do it all the time. Washing up, making dinner, engage your lats. At the computer, engage your lats, just to see if you can get that muscle memory, so that they'll automatically switch on when you need them when you're dancing. Groovy. So we've got our body prepared for arm styling. So the next thing I would say is make sure with your arm styling, although I said this movements don't come from your hands, I want you to make sure your wrists are really limber and flexible and mobile, okay? They don't have to be flexible as in be able to go all over the place, but they have to be mobile and free to move. So an exercise that I often do is to try and have, pretend that my hands are jellyfish. If you can picture the jellyfish like pulsating through the water, the action comes from the wrist and the fingers just float after. We can do this anywhere. Floating arms. Look in the mirror. I've got a mirror this way, so I can try and make sure I'm getting that feel of beautiful jellyfish tendrils in my fingers with the motion in the wrists. Very good. Nice. So that's wrists. Now, let's get to the technique of arm styling, because the wrists will come in a bit later. All arm styling comes from the body, comes from the core. So this is the way to make your arm styling look really authentic and look like natural movement, and give you really nice quality of movement. So I could go like this with my arms, or I could go like this with my arms. I hope you can see the difference. I could go like this with my arm, or I can go like this with my arm. You might be able to see the first movement just has an arm. The second movement, the energy travels through each joint, and that energy comes from your core. So I have two different visualizations that I use. One is to pretend that I have a ball of spider web in my core, and I have to squeeze that out to get the web to go out my fingers. That web has to travel through each joint to make it out to the extremity, and that helps me just to be a little stronger in my core. I'm exaggerating at the moment, so you might see me kind of tensing, but I'm not contracting and I'm not squeezing in. The other visualization is that it's like I inflate. So here is where the gas tank is, and you switch it on to inflate. It inflates your upper body and that air flows through your limb to reach out to your fingertips. So we can think about spiderweb being sent out the fingers from the core, or we can think about inflating. So you can see like I'm really exaggerating that, like but it's not like that when you're actually dancing it. This is just for the sake of the exercise, to find those muscles that are going to inflate your body and send your arms out. Cool. So the exercise you do is to go from just to the shoulder. Make your core move your shoulder. So it's not exactly, you know, a muscle that goes from here to here. It's more about traversing of energy, and you have to use your mind to make that happen. Visualize from here to here. Then you can extend that movement by taking it to the elbow. Just experiment to see how much energy you need just to get it to the elbow, and then let it go. And then to the wrist, let it go. And then you can take it all the way to the fingers. So it's almost as if that energy just travels a little faster to make it to the fingers, to make that movement look really effortless. Groovy. So you can see how we have this travel through each joint, and that's coming from the body. So an easy arm styling option that I often do, because it has nice flow and it's not too showy, it looks quite organic, is to is to have a flowing arm. So you can see that as I move my torso, it sends the arm. So another exercise that you can do is just to let your arms go dead and shift your body. You can shift your weight. You can go really crazy. Oh, we end up doing the floss, that's nice. And just see how your arms move because of your body. And that's what we want to put into our arm styling, but without the floppiness. So as we have some torsion in the chest, this arm automatically comes forward. And you see it comes forward from the point that's closest to the part that's moving, which is shoulder, then the elbow, then the wrist. It's like a flow of energy. And all we do is we accentuate that, so we make it flow. We take a long path, so we don't let our hands get back to where they were as fast as possible. We don't take the shortest route. With majority of your arm styling, here's a nice tip for you. Don't let your hands take the shortest route. If I was going to take the shortest route back here, it's not very pleasing to the eye. It doesn't have as much flow as if I... No rushing. Take a long journey. So you might have seen these ones. We're getting the hand from here to here with a whole heap of travel. Yes, I'm going to go through that one in a later video. It's called the spiral arm. So look out for that one. So here's a tip. Don't let your arm take the shortest journey. I've got another tip for you. With your arm styling needs to be finished or nearly finished by the and or the second chick, depending on how you count. So it'll be boom, chick, chick. I'm pretty much finished there. When we've got motion with our stepping, you'll see how that styling actually, the motion finishes as we move into our next step. But we'll come to that a little bit later. So that's a couple of tips for you. Main one, your body makes your arms move. Second tip was never take the shortest path, always take your hand on a journey. And the third one is make sure your styling is finished or nearly finished by the second chick or the and. Cool. So let's go through this flowing arm a little bit more. I use this one, for example, if I'm in face this way, lateral, and the leader opens me up for maybe bonus. I use it here. It's very simple. As I said, not very showy. So the timing of that, I'll show you facing the camera and the other way in a minute. So he goes 1, 2, and. So the leader will likely be holding on to the right hand and we'll let go of it on the 1, bring it in on the 2, float it out on the and, ready for 3, 4, and, or whatever is going to happen next. Facing this way, it'll be 1, let go, 2, and. So the movement happens as the body rotates in the lateral step. So here, I wouldn't bring the arm in because the body hasn't moved yet. That would be inauthentic movement to bring the arm in and do this styling. Even here, it hasn't moved yet. 2, as I'm rotating around, it comes in because the chest makes it happen. 2, and flows out as I finish that rotation in the body. So rotation in the body is here, finished here, which is where my arm styling would end. 1, 2, and. Cool. So I said that it should be nearly finished or finished by the end. So here I'm still allowing a little bit of motion so that on my next step, my arm gets left behind, my body opens beautifully, and I have this nice long line with that hand getting left behind. Because if you're thinking about that jellyfish, it's still trailing behind in the water when you take that next step. So that's another way to make your Zouk flow and give you authentic movement. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you practice in front of a mirror. Make sure you admire yourself, admire your lines, admire your floating sexy spider webs and super pulsating jellyfish, and can put it into practice next time you get to dance on the social dance floor. And I will check you in another video soon, which is going to be ways to, some more tips for you to help you find your own style. Key points of the body that you can use to create some nice lines and a little bit of sultriness for yourself. And I'll also do another video which is a toolkit of some more arm styling that I like to use that you can learn and make your own. Thank you very much, everybody. See you next time. Bye.